If you've watched anybody's wintertime fishing lures, they all talk about a jig, a crankbait, and a jerkbait. Your best top 5 baits for the month of January. Those baits are going to be in it. Everyone's videos are going to have those. I'm going to show you how to make that work, but also not take away from your opportunity at a big bite. Because everybody knows this time of year, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds, probably not going to get you a check. If you can catch 1 4 or 5 pounder, bump you up to 12, 13, 14 pounds, you're going to be good. So this is how I make it work. Now, I'm all for the crankbaits, the smaller crankbaits. This is a 1.0. I'm all about that. You look at my rods this time of year, I'm going to have this bait tied on. But not just because it's the time of year to throw small stuff. The fish like less, vibrant, crazy moving baits. They want subtle action. They want small stuff. And it's not always the reason. I'm implementing those baits because you can only throw 3 baits this time of year. For the most part, if you're fishing shallow, you're going to be having a jerk bait, a crankbait, a spinner bait, and a finesse jig in your hand. You're going to be throwing those type baits at fish all day long. So if I'm in a community type place, if I'm fishing around a causeway, a main lake point, a bridge, something that's very obvious that has a lot of fish on it, but I know is getting hit boat after boat through the course of a day, that's why I go down on those smaller baits, because 100 crankbaits are coming by those fish in a week. It's going to be a jig if anyone's going to fish slow there. So you got to downsize in those regards because you're showing them the same exact thing time after time. When I get into those areas where it's not a community hole, it's not spots where fish are being hit after time, that's when I'm going to go up. That's when I'm going to go back to my 1.5s, my 2.5s, because there's still big forage in these lakes. Here's my community hole, obvious looking type places I'm going to fish with this bait. And then when I get back into some places where I know other boats aren't going, I haven't seen other boats there, that's when I'm going to go back to my 1.5s, my 2.5s, my bigger baits, because I feel like you still need to keep those baits honest this time of year. Obviously, you're not going to get as many bites. On days when you're not going to get a whole lot of bites to begin with, yeah, you got to keep those smaller baits in your hand most of the day. But don't totally deter yourself of a big bite by only throwing those small baits. That's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, and a lot of guys miss that. They see this on my deck and go, oh, he's on a small crankbait bite. No, I just need this when I'm going down that causeway, or I'm going down that bridge, or I'm fishing that spot that I know everybody hits. It's got a lot of fish there, but a lot of fishermen too. When I'm in the places where I just don't see boats, I got them to myself, I'm going back to the big baits because I know the big baits are going to get the biggest fish in the group to bite. I don't have time to be fooling with little fish or, pulling the school apart and just taking the little ones back with me. So try that, guys. Don't forget about your big baits. I know you're not going to get as many bites this time of year, but you will still catch big fish on them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the water.